Good morning, children. Welcome to commerce class. See, before the quarterly examination, we were discussing the chapter regarding partnership, and I remember we finished till arbitration of dispute. Okay, under the heading of content of partnership deed. Now we need to just discuss about what are the rights and duties of partners. When we look into the rights and duties of partners, what are rights? In Tamil you say urimaigal. Okay, what is the right of a partner in the business? First thing is, every partner has got the right to take part in the business activities. Okay, if you are a partner, you've got all rights to put your contribution to the business. That is the first right. Next is right to be consulted. If you are a partner in a firm, okay, you have got all rights, okay, for all rights to be consulted for any problems or any solution, okay, or any decision that has to be taken with regard to the business. Okay, so you can no one can deny that you do not have the right to be consulted. The other partners have to consult you. In case if you are not being consulted, you can very well, okay, claim for your rights, and you can say that you are not accountable for the actions of the other partners. So the partner is to be has got the right to be consulted for taking any decisions with respect to the business matters. Next is a right to access to books, record and documents. As a partner, here every time I imagine yourself to be a partner of a firm. Okay, right of access to books, record and documents. If you are a partner in a firm, in a business firm, okay, you have got all rights to ask for the books of accounts, okay, at any time to examine or to take a copy of the books of records. You have got all the rights to access means what? Getting to know the information about that. Next is right to share profit. Whatever is the profit that is being earned during the business process by a firm, the partner, as a partner, every partner has got the right of his share, okay, from the profit that is being earned. This share can be either specified in the partnership deed. Okay, the ratio of the profit sharing should be specified in the partnership deed. Suppose if it is not being specified in the partnership deed, it will be taken, all the partners will get equal share. Next is right to receive interest. See, for example, let us assume there are 4 partners. All the 4 partners have contributed capital and the business is just running on in the regular phase. Now, you need additional capital for which you have planned to borrow from banks. Okay, suppose a partner who is wealthy, he is coming forward to give money instead of borrowing from the banks. So, in such a situation, if a partner is giving loans or advances to the firm, the partner who is giving loans is entitled to receive interest for whatever the loan that he has advanced. Suppose if it is not specified, he has to be given 6% interest per annum for the loan that is being advanced to the business by the partner. Next is right to be indemnified. Suppose if every partner has got the right of indemnification. Indemnification means what? Covering the loss. Okay, he has got suppose, for example, in the ordinary course of the business, if any one partner, the act of one partner has given loss to the business, means that partner has to indemnify, has to compensate the loss because of his act. Okay, because of any of the misact being done by one partner, the business is suffering from loss, means that particular partner is responsible for indemnifying the loss. Indemnifying means what? Covering of the loss. Next is right to use a partnership property for business. Suppose, for example, the business is going on for let us assume 10 to 12 years. Okay, so definitely the business also might have acquired certain assets in the name of the firm itself. So in such a situation, the partners have got all the rights to use the property of the firm for business purposes. not for personal use, for the business purposes. Next is right to retire. See, for example, at any particular point of time, if one partner wanted to retire, has to come out of the business, he has got all the rights to retire after giving prior notice to the partners. Okay, he has to give the due notice to the partners and then he can retire from the business, or the right to continue. Every partner has got the right to continue except otherwise it is specified in the partnership deed. Suppose if the partnership, in the partnership deed itself, it has been specified that this partnership will continue only for few months. In such a situation, okay, the partnership will cease, or the partner cannot continue to be a partner in the business. So if it is not being specified in the partnership deed, every partner has got the right to continue in the business. The next is we shall look into the duties of a partner. See, so far we saw what are the rights of the partners. Now let us understand what are the duties. Duties means what? In Tamil you say kadamaigal. Okay, as a partner, what is your duty to the firm? Okay, let us see that. Now, duty to carry on the business. First and foremost, if you are a partner in a business, okay, you are enjoying the benefits of the profit. At the same time, you have got the responsibility or the duty to do the business also. To do the business, to carry on the business, your contribution is also required. Next is duty to be true. Every partner should be very, very true, just and faithful to the firm. Okay, whatever the activities that he is doing on behalf of the business, he should be true. There should be utmost good faith is one of the important, what is that concept which should be there in partnership. It has to be dealt in a the activity should be dealt in a very fair manner. Next is duty to render true accounts. If the partnership firm, if a particular partner is responsible for maintaining the accounts of the business, he has to maintain, or he is bound to keep the records in a true, and all the full accounts should be maintained with proper vouchers and receipts. Okay, vouchers for the expenses and receipts for whatever the spending that is made, and vouchers for whatever the cash transactions that is being made. So there should be transparency, and the records maintained should be true to his knowledge. Next is duty to indemnify the firm. Every partner must indemnify the firm for any loss. See, suppose for example, if any loss has happened because of one fraudulent practice of a partner, means it is the responsibility of that fraud partner to indemnify the loss, because it is because of his negligence that the company has suffered a loss. Next is duty to share the loss. Again, profit sharing is the right of a partner. Likewise, when there is a loss being incurred in the business, it is the responsibility or the duty of the partners to share the loss according to the ratios agreed, or if there is no ratio being specified in the partnership deed, they have to share the loss in an equal manner. Next is duty to claim remuneration. Suppose, for example, in the partnership deed, it has been specified that every partner is entitled to receive a salary month after month for the work that is being done. They have got the responsibility to pay the salary as per the agreed partnership deed. Next is duty not to use firm's property for personal use. See, in the rights, I told you that partners can use a partnership property for business purposes. Likewise, the partners should not use the business property for their personal requirements. Okay, business property should not be used for personal use. Next is partners, they do not duty not to carry on competing businesses. Suppose if you are a partner, see for example, you are a partner in a textile firm. Okay, you have contributed and you are enjoying all the profits. You are enjoying a portion of the profits. You cannot start a competitive firm, again a textile business, in such a way to hit the business of the partnership firm. Okay, you should not start a proprietorship firm next to your partnership firm, because it is like competing with the partnership firm itself, where you are one of the partners. Next is duty to act within the scope of his authority. A partner must act only within the limits of whatever is his authority. He should not go beyond his limit to exercise his powers. Okay. Next is duty to consult other partners before assigning or transferring his interest in partnership. Suppose, for example, if one partner wanted to go out of the firm, okay, he does not want to continue in the firm, so he wanted to quit the firm, and at the same time he wanted his spouse to be into the business. That should be done only with the consent of the other partners. Suppose if he wants to include, instead of him, if he wants to include, nominate some other person in his family, it should be done only in consultation with the other partners. So these are the duties of a partner in a partnership firm. Next is, what are the liabilities of a partner? Liabilities means what? What is his commitment towards meeting the outstanding debts? First thing is joint and several liability. Every partner in the in the partnership firm, they can they are liable to pay the debts, okay, of the partnership firm, from the property of the firm, as well as from the personal properties of the individuals. So creditors can also recover their claims, okay, their money that has, suppose if the business is going to be winded up, okay, to meet out the liability of the creditors, the partners are individually jointly responsible and as well as individually responsible. They can utilize the property of the firm as well as the individual property of the partners also can be utilized for settling of the claims during the times of liabilities. Liable for any loss to third party. Suppose, for example, if because of the wrongful act of one partner, okay, there is loss being incurred for a third person, okay, for a third person. In such a situation, all the partners are responsible to wipe out the loss which is being caused, even if it is by one person or two partners, to a third party. So the firm itself, every partner is responsible to meet out that liability. Next is liability to third party to make good the loss. When a particular partner receives money, okay, or property from a third person on behalf of the firm, he is receiving the money and he is misappropriating that money, he is doing some fraudulent activities and then it is being misappropriated. In such a situation, the firm is only liable to pay back the money to the third party. Okay, so these are the liabilities of a partner. Next we shall learn about the types of partnership. See children, since the portions are very vast, okay, I have to just go with this speed only. Suppose if you feel a little difficult to follow, just give a pause, rewind it, go through the rights once again, go through the duties once again, then go to the types of partnership firm. Okay. When we look into the types of partnership firm, the first type of partnership is partnership at will. Okay, here it is the time the business can be carried on by the partners. Okay, so let us assume there are four partners and the firm and the business is being carried on by the contribution of four partners. They can continue that partnership at will till without any time limit. There is no time limit being specified. Okay, and till suppose for example if a particular person says that he wants to withdraw from the partnership, till all the partners are willfully accepting to be a part of the business or to be a partner in the business, till such time the partnership can continue. Once if the partners express their unwillingness to continue as partners, in such a situation the partnership will come to a cease, will come to an end. So mutual cooperation and confidence is very, very important among the partners. This you call it as partnership by will. And this partnership by will, the person who is who wanted to just cease his partnership himself to be a partner in the firm has to give prior notice to other partners. Next is partnership for a fixed term. See, for example, in the partnership deed itself, if they have agreed, if the four partners have agreed to be partners in this particular firm for this much stipulated period of time. See, for example, for 5-year period, let us be partners and do the business and later on let us decide whether to continue as partners or whether to dissolve this partnership. So if it is for a particular fixed period of time, then after that fixed period of time, the partnership gets terminated. Terminated means what? Coming to a close is terminated. The next type is particular partnership. See, for example, if a partner, if let us assume 8 partners are there, 8 people are there, they come together, okay, they wanted to start a new business venture. Normally this will happen in construction business, where they would take up a very big project and 4-5 partners, let us say 8 partners are there. Since it is going to be a very big project, construction project, let us take a construction of a big mall. Okay, there are 8 partners who contribute money and they start the business. Now they enter into an agreement and partnership deed is prepared that after the completion of this particular venture, the partnership will come to an end, will be terminated. So if such a particular agreement is agreed upon, or if they stay as partners on a particular venture or a business which is of a temporary nature, once the work of the mall is being completed and it is being handed over to the owner, the partnership comes to an end, is getting terminated. So such a type of partnership, you call it as particular partnership. The next type is limited liability partnership, LLP. See, this limited liability partnership, see in the previous topic, when we talked about the liability of partners, every partner is jointly responsible and individually, jointly and severally responsible to pay the claims for their creditors, to meet out the liabilities or the outstandings. But with respect to limited liability partnership, okay, maximum this is observed in the service sector and in the small scale business enterprises only. Here, the paying of the debts of the business, only the assets of the business will be utilized. Assets of the partnership firm only will be utilized for meeting out the debts of the firm. Other than that, the personal properties of the partners will not be utilized to meet out the debts of the firm. Okay, maximum where will such a type of limited liability partnership prevail? You might have such type of partnership in the case of chartered accountants, where few chartered accountants join together and have a firm. And likewise with respect to doctors, when few doctors come together and start a hospital, in such a case, the liability will be limited liability partnership only. Likewise, lawyers, architects, engineers, they will never attach their personal properties to meet out the claims of the creditors. Next is, with this, the types of partnership is over. The next is, what are types of partners? Okay, like types of partners, it is different from types of partnership. Partnership means it refers to the firm, okay, where the partners are a part of the partnership firm. Now, types of partners, very, very simple to understand, children. Okay, first type is active partners. A partner who takes part in the conducting of the business activities as a partner, he is known as active partner. Okay, a partner who is taking active, who is getting involved into the business, partnership business, such a partner, you call him as active partner. And every partner has got the right to do the management activities, has got the right to take part in the management affairs of the business. Next is sleeping partner, or otherwise called as dormant partner. See, a partner, he contributes capital, but he takes share in the profit, and he also shares the loss also, but he does not take part in the management of the business. Okay, if such is a partner, if a person is a partner of that sort, he is called as sleeping partner or dormant partner. Dormant means what? Inactive. The meaning of dormant is what? Inactive. So, he is liable, but of course he is liable to the third parties, okay, like any other partner. Next is nominal partner. See, this nominal partner, he never contributes capital. Okay, he is entitled to manage the affairs of the business. He will not contribute capital. He will give his name only. He will give his name, and because there are few people who because of their skills and capabilities they can become partners. They need not pay capital, they need not invest capital, but they can manage the affairs of the business. And because of their involvement into the business, the name and reputation of the business will be increasing. That is why a nominal partner, however, he is liable for the acts of he even without contributing capital, he is entitled to receive share in the business. The next type is partners in profits only. There are partners who is entitled to receive only the profits of the firm. Suppose if the firm is incurring loss, they will not be bearing any portion of the loss which is caused during the process of business. If such a type of partner who takes part only in the profit, he is called as partner in profits only. And this partner, he will not take part in the management of the business also. The partner who is sharing only the profits. Next is partner by estophel. See, partner by estophel means a person will not be a partner in the business firm, but his words and actions, no, the way he behaves and the way he is representing himself, others might believe that he is a partner. Okay, by the way he believes by the way he acts to the customers or to the clients or to the third person, the people might feel that he is also one of the partner. If such a person who represents himself as a partner but who is not a partner actually, he is called as partner by estophel. Next is partner by holding out. When you say partner by holding out, a person is declared as a partner when he does. See, someone says that you are a partner in the business firm. If he is not denying that, okay, and even after knowing that he is actually not a partner, okay, but he is being introduced as he is also one of the partner, but that person, okay, does not deny that, he accepts that, okay. So in such a situation, okay, where he is accepting even after knowing that he is not a partner in the firm, okay, and when being introduced that he is a partner, he never denies that. If such is a situation, okay, if a third person is going to give him money, okay, lend him money, okay, that person is responsible, okay, for to pay the money that is being borrowed by him, just because he did not accept that he is not a partner. Next is secret partner. A person might be a partner in the firm, but his his availability or his presence is not known to the general public, okay, that he is also one of the partner. If such is the situation, you call it as he is called as secret partner. Next is minor partner. According to the Indian Majority Act, whoever completes the age of 18 only, they are called as major. If they have not completed the age of 18, they are called as minors. A minor can also be a partner, preferred. He has a guardian. A guardian is being appointed for the minor, and a minor is entitled to receive the benefits of the business, but he is not entitled to sustain the loss which is being happened. He is not entitled to bear the loss of the business. Next is partnership. Registration of partnership. Is registration of partnership compulsory? Okay, I told you registration is optional. Okay, but agreement is compulsory. You can register or you need not register a partnership firm. You can also do the business without registering the firm. Indian Partnership Act does not make registration compulsory. Please underline this. Registration is optional. You can register or you need not register also. But there are certain disabilities. Okay, there are some drawbacks if a firm is not being registered, okay, which we shall see later. What are the procedures for registering a firm? First thing is, a statement should be prepared, okay, giving all the following particulars. What are those particulars? Okay, the name of the firm should be specified. where is the principal place of the business, okay, where the business is going to take place, that should be specified, and the name of other places where the business is being carried on. See, the headquarters might be in one place, but the branch offices might be in different cities also. All those places also should be mentioned in the particular statement. Next is the name, address of all the partners who are a part of the business firm. Next is the date when each partner joined the firm. Okay, see, it is not a must that all of them have to sign an agreement on the same day. Okay, see, a firm can be started with 3 people. Later on, a 4th person can come and join, and after a few years, one person can go out of the business, and after a few years, some other person can come into the business also. Okay, so the date at which each partner entered into the business should be specified. The next is the duration of the firm, whether it is for a particular duration or whether it is at till the completion of a particular project, that should be specified. This statement, having all these particulars should be signed by all the partners, and it should be given where it should be submitted to. It should be submitted to the registrar of firms, okay, along with whatever is the registration fee for registering the partnership firm. Suppose, for example, if they wanted to make some changes, they wanted to make some change in the address of the partner, that should be communicated to the registrar within 14 days of that. The above particulars should be communicated. If they are going to make any changes, they have to communicate that change to the registrar within 14 days of such alteration. Suppose you have changed your address. After changing the address, you have to just specify to the registrar that you have changed the address. That should be made within 14 days of doing such alteration. Suppose a partner is coming into the firm, okay, and such change should be specified within 14 days of a person entering into the partnership firm, where to whom it should be communicated to the registrar of firms. I think the time is now almost 26 minutes is over. I shall just take one small topic. Is it possible? Yes, I shall just finish off. What are the drawbacks when a partnership firm is not registered? The first drawback is no right to file suit against others. If a firm is not registered, if a third party has committed some fraudulent activities, you wanted to file a case against him. The firm wanted to file a case against the frauduler means that cannot be done because the firm is not a registered firm. So you cannot file a case against any person. Next is a right to sue for right arising. It can sue others for enforcing the rights arising otherwise than out of the contract. Suppose the firm has not registered, but they have the right to sue against individuals. Okay, individually the partners have got the right to sue. Okay, and it can be brought to suit for wrong and infringement activity. Suppose a third person has utilized the trademark or the trademark of the firm. In such a situation, they have got the right to sue against the person who has infringed. Infringed means violation of the laws. Next is right of third parties to sue the firm. Say, I told you the firm cannot sue on the third party, but if a firm is not registered, a third party can sue against the firm also. Suppose any one partner, the act of any one partner has caused loss to a third party. In such a situation, the third party has got the right to sue against the firm. Okay, but the firm cannot sue against the third person or any other persons because it is an unregistered firm. So these are the drawbacks associated with non-registration of the partnership firm. In short, see, it is a short gist is given. Okay, this in short, non-registration does not affect the following rights. Suppose if the problem is not exceeding 100 rupees, you can just sue it and get the amount retrieved back. The right of firms or partners of a firm having no place in the business in India. Suppose a firm does not have its place in India, then they don't have the right to sue. The power of an official assignee or receiver to really realize the property of an insolvent partner. See, suppose a partner becomes insolvent. Insolvent means going bankruptcy. That is declaring himself that he doesn't have any money. In Tamil, you call it as dival. Okay, where pauper. He becomes pauper, and the creditors cannot claim any money from him. If such is a situation, there is no right to sue against that insolvent partner. Suit arising otherwise than out of contract. Apart from that, if whatever is not specified in the contract, okay, if other than that, if there is any problems, they can be sued. The right of third parties against the firm or any other or any of its partners. The rights of third parties. A third party has got the right to sue against the firm, okay, or against the individual partners. Sued by a partner for the resolution of the firm or accounts of the dissolved firm. See, a partner has got the right to sue against the firm. If he wants to dissolve the firm, the partner can sue. If a partnership firm has cheated, okay, the partner, a particular partner means, then the partner can sue against the firm. Okay, so these are the drawbacks, okay, which are associated with non-registration of partnership. Now, with respect to the homework, I want you to do, this is quite a lengthy lesson. I want you to write very short answers, all the very short answers. Okay, 6 very short answers are there. I want you to write that. That will be your homework, children. Thank you. Have a good day.